Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, when it comes to our day-to-day life, we all look for happiness and satisfaction. So, looking at happiness and satisfaction, we create names, desires, boundaries, culture, tradition, nations, so like that. And in the beginning, when you have a name, when you have a place, when you have a nation, when you have a religion, you feel more comfortable. You feel happy. You celebrate. But if you look very deeply, that celebration later going to become violence for other people. Sometimes our celebration going to bring the disturb to other people. And they also have their own name, their own culture, tradition, their own believing system. And sometimes when they celebrate themselves, it's going to disturb us. So why this happened? Because our main purpose was to find the happiness and satisfaction and comfort ourselves and security ourselves. And then the same reason, it's kind of like a bounce back to us and bring the fear, unhappiness, sadness, worry. At the same time, without a name, without a nation, without a tradition, culture, also conventionally our life not going to become valid. So these kind of things kind of bring us the validation. But deeply, one thing that you have to understand, behind this all, we have a strong desire with the self-centered mind. So in conventionally having your name, having your place, having a nation for you, or whatever the culture or the tradition, even the whatever the religion you believe, conventionally it is okay. We have to accept that things. We have to follow that necessary ethics and the necessary protocol in with the society. But it is your own responsibility. You have to be free from that, all the names and all the titles and all the spiritual practice or the culture that you develop yourself without personalizing it. So that is a very risky part in our life. So we have to have a culture, tradition, nation, religion, and at the same time, if you personalize it, what will happen? Your main purpose not going to work. And then it going to become something else. And as a result, maybe you're going to get hurt and other people also going to get hurt. Look at the world. When we look at the human history, most of the war happened because of the religious reasons. And it came through the religions, religious believing. How it is possible? Because the religion itself tried to find the happiness or the ultimate peace and liberation to people. But how it going to end up with violation, or that becoming kind of like dangerous, or how it going to increase the violations in the society? Because when we not able to find our freedom within ourselves, and when we bound too much to the religion or the culture or the tradition or the nation or the even our own name, and then it's going to bring you the fear. Once you have the fear, you again and again and again and again you look for the security through all these things that you put around you, all the things that the conditions that you put around you with your name, culture, tradition, religion, like that. And then again and again that fear creates certain things inside us, and then it leads us to protect ourselves. So when it comes to protect yourself, what you trying to protect? Do you think you can protect a nation? Do you think you can protect a culture? You can think you can protect the country? Do you think you can protect the your name? For how far? When you look at our entire human history, if somebody are able to protect it, where it is today, what happened to that? For the certain amount of period, that even though you think that you protect it, and maybe somebody else, it's going to become a great danger. So in conventionally, of course, we have to go with certain things. But when we come to our practice, in this meditation practice, samatha and vipassana, that you have to understand, you have to develop a vipassana knowledge. Even conventionally, at least try to have a vipassana knowledge. Because you cannot protect anything like that way you think. Because if you are in fear, if you are in a place that you feel unsecurity, so whatever you do, it's not going to work. So deeper than inside you, you have to get out of this fear. How you can do that? To get out of that fear, clinging to the patriotic ideology or the religious ideology, or getting to kind of like a believing system, doesn't work. So then what you have to do? You have to develop the clarity inside your mind to get out of the fear. But while you hold it to something, and you try to find the help out of something, and then itself your mind is not clear, then that unclarity again bring the fear. So then yourself remember, in the very first thing that you have to do, get out of this all the names and the nations, the culture, traditions, and everything inside your mind. Make your mind free at least for 5 minutes, 10 minutes every day. Don't try to bring that your image, I am this, I am that, like that way. Get out of that self-image and just simply observe your own inhalation, exhalation. And in that very moment, you will recognize, you are able to see the mind, or you are able to understand the comfort inside you. In that very moment, you see there is no fear in you. So that is the kind of like a beginning point that you start to go deeper into this journey. Because looking the security from outside, you will never find that anything. And increasing your boundaries, you never going to get into a place to find the protection. It is not like you and me in our history. We see it. And Alexander the Great conquer half of the world. But look what happened to him. It didn't bring the satisfaction, or it didn't bring the security to him. On the way back to his mother, what happened? He died on the way. And the Genghis Khan, and he owned the most of the land in the world, Mongolian king. What happened? He fell down from his own horse and in his palace and got injured and died. And the king Asoka, and in the beginning he was Chanda Asoka, and he was a kind of like a warrior and conquering that whatever the difficulties come. But finally he conquered the land and everything. But then that night he saw the misery of the war, and he was so unhappy. And the very next day morning, he saw a little monk walk. And just by seeing it, it brought him the calmness, tranquility state to his mind. See, after conquering the country, after very huge war, but still he didn't find the satisfaction. The fear, always the fear arise. But seeing a little monk just walk on the street, and he understood, look, I am the king, but I am so unhappy. But look, this little monk. And then he started to look for that. So even though you didn't conquer half of the world, even though you didn't go to great battle, and remember, every day we also experience the same insecurity in our mind, unsatisfaction in our mind. So then yourself, you have to look and go with this outside, the mesmerize, that brainwash ideas, and we just go with the more insecurity situations. But our time is very limited. We're not going to be here forever. So the very best thing that you can do to world, not to find the boundary line and increase that boundary line, or build up a wall, or maybe increasing the nations, or or increasing the capacity of our religion. No, that way it doesn't going to work. So find your own salvation, or the liberation, or the freedom inside you. Don't look don't look help from outside things. And that is the best thing that you can give to even this entire human history. Because that become a great lesson for everybody. Why? Because entire this conventional life, people go with the outside world, and it never going to end. Look at the world. It's going to become more difficult. And we build up nations, we build up countries, we build up religions, and we build up names, we build up our positions. But that build up itself going to challenge for others, and maybe others success with that thing is going to challenge for us, and that is where that we going to suffer. So then ourselves we have to remember, finding the peace, finding the happiness, finding the tranquility state within yourself is the most beautiful way to conquer this world. Find the security to yourself. So if you can contribute like that way, the whatever the place you are, the whatever the nation that you belong, whatever the country you belong, whatever the religious path you believe or belong, it's going to shine. Why? Because wherever you are, it gives the peace, harmony, tranquility, state, security for other people. And that going to bring the purpose of the religion or the nation or the culture, that going to bring the true nature of this humanity. So without having that quality ourselves, what the point that you have a nation, you have a name, country, you have a religion? What the point if when your name heard, if other people get afraid, what the point? See, there are some names, nowadays I hear, the very weird name that we never heard that kind of names, from the society, how that kind of names came, especially for gangsters. People talk very weird names. Sometimes when they hear that name, it's people afraid to hear that. So what's the point if your name hear somebody by someone? If that people or the person get afraid, do you think that is good for you? No, because that fear itself going to come against you, and that is not good for you, and that going to become great challenge later. It maybe it's not going to come through that person maybe, but somebody going to challenge you. And when the same thing happening, even the nation the same. If somebody hear that name, by hearing that, if some people get afraid, that going to become a great challenge for themselves, because it's going to bounce back. The religion the same. If somebody, when they hear your religious name, if that people get afraid, remember, you are in a great risk. You are not in a secure place. Why? Because someday, somehow, somebody going to destroy you. So that is why we have to be very careful with that. But in the beginning, we think, oh, we are strong. Oh, we are good. Oh, when other people hear our name, they're afraid for us. We think like that way. But in this journey of this life, no one can protect anybody. Making fearful others, afraid others, by force, and holding others, that kind of like making threaten to others, we cannot find the protection. But that is how we build up that through our day-to-day life, because of the self-centered desires, and because of the fearful heart, we always clinging to clinging to things, names, the positions, the country, culture, traditions, cult, and looking for security. So then remember yourself, when you able to get out of this all, when you completely become free from this all the names and the culture, traditions and the cult or the gang, or when you able to completely be free from this all titles, if you able to exist for a moment, that is the most strongest, powerful moment that you can experience in this human life. Try it. That is what through the vipassana we try to, to introduce, because that is one of the, when you yourself release the boundary from even your own name, it giving you peace. When you get out of the the name of the religion, you become stronger and you become more kind of like a peaceful rather than carrying the religious name. When you become, get out of the whatever the tradition or the culture, you become free. So you have to find that freedom. In conventional life, it is okay. That's everything need to have. Nothing wrong with that. If anybody go with it, that person need to go until that person feel this is enough for me. This is enough for me. Till that person need to go with it. Always. There is no person. If you look at the history, you will see. There is no person find the self-satisfaction when they go through, go with the nation, country, religion, any kind of a culture, or any kind of a gang or believing system. There is no way somebody going to find the real, complete satisfaction. Most of people, look at the history, whoever had that, all the the things in the history that people used to work for this everything and what they told in, finally. So that's why the best way to contribute to your name, the best way to contribute to your culture, the best way to contribute to your country, the best way to contribute to your tradition, the best way to contribute to your religion is not building ideas with it. The best way to contribute, be free from that all the ideas. And that is the day you will see everybody going to appreciate. That is the day that you bring the complete satisfaction to yourself and as well as to everybody whoever around this world. That is the day that through yourself other people going to get the best benefit. That is the best thing out of your name or the position or the culture, tradition that you can share to others. Not the fear, not becoming strong or not becoming kind of like that, but to bring them the calmness, happiness, security. So that is a way, that is what the Buddha taught us. And people one day, it's a little by little, most people understand it, not everybody. Everybody not going to understand this soul every day. But mostly, especially whoever struggle with the soul, they mostly understand this end of their life, knowingly or unknowingly. So, but somehow it is our time, this time period. So then it is yourself, think a little bit and look at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes to yourself, spend your time in day-to-day life. just be completely free human being without any name or without any kind of category. Just completely be free. And that's why when we say, may all living beings be well and happy, can you be a part of that family? Rather than, I belong to this country, I belong to this nation, I belong to this culture. When you say, may all living beings be well and happy, are you a part of that family? So if so, do you think that your name or your culture tradition not going to make any divisions, not going to threaten other people or the other animals, not going to bring the fear, unsatisfaction? So then, if it is so, that is good. You have to go with that. So in this, the Buddha's the teaching, when it come to vipassana, and when it come to this development of this pattern, and we go with that our nation is this entire universe. You are part of that. You are a universal being. And at least a 5 minute, 10 minute every day, try to experience that. Be a part of that nation. And you will see. And you become free from that all. And that is the one of the most beautiful thing that you can experience. And that going to become more security. And bring the more security and peace to yourself. And try it. So I bless upon all of you with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatvantara sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cha ammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.